Hello, Namaskar and Adab to all my friends from your astrologer friend and guide Irfan. Once more with you with your very own channel Astro Assurance. In the predictions for the month of November, we have traversed the journey so far till Capricorn, and so let's move ahead with the results for November 2019 for Aquarius ascendant natives. These results that I am going to discuss and put forward to you are from a Vedic astrology or sidereal astrology point of view. But for those people who consider themselves to be very strongly connected to Aquarius through their zodiac signs, you will also find that these results or these predictions will also resonate or apply to you. The other thing, it should also resonate very strongly with those people who have their moon in Aquarius. So these will also play out strongly for people who have their moon sign as Aquarius. Okay, so let's start the journey with Aquarius for this month. For this month, for the coming month of November, it's very important for Aquarius people because unlike a lot of other signs, these next 3 months are very important from a work, career and business point of view, while keeping your relations in mind, while keeping your relations in the mix. So, to put it simply, the better you manage your relationships, the better you manage your social connections, the better you manage your extended relations with people in general society, and how you work with them, the better results you will get in your career. So this is, in a nutshell, how the next 3 months are going to play out for Aquarius people. This is also because your Lagna Lord, Saturn, and also the Lord of the 12th house is placed in the 11th house of gains, desires, aspiration and also social network. Also Ketu is placed there, while Rahu is placed in your 5th house in Gemini, in the house of romance, children, speculative investments, all those things that you like, and public performances, hobbies. So Rahu can play spoil sport by putting wool over your eyes or creating a smoky screen in front of you in terms of how some of your relationships are going to manifest or give you results, especially love interest or love relationships, and also your relation with children and events related to children. You will start off the month with Sun in Libra in the 9th house of religion, marriage or marriage ceremonies and long distance travel, father, high learning, teaching, gurus, professors, high learning institutes, high learning itself, all of these are 9th house. But Sun also is the ruler of your 7th house and now placed in transit in your 9th house of religious ceremonies like marriage. So, but it is in a sign of debilitation. So if you are contemplating marriage in the first 15 days of November, be a little careful, because either it could be a mistake which will later on manifest in a more negative fashion, or you may meet somebody in a long distance travel, or somebody at work, or somebody at a religious institute or religious ceremony, or at a marriage you may meet somebody, or you may meet somebody when you travel abroad or seeking admission in a higher learning institute, or at the institute itself, or through a seminar related to something related to religion, long distance travel, education, higher learning, admissions. So you may meet somebody, and in a longer duration, over a period of time, the relationship could become stronger. However, because the time period that you may meet them is not conducive, so be a little wary of not being a little sure of who you are meeting before you try and take the relationship forward, especially love relations, because Sun rules the 7th house of marriage here. Secondly, the same thing is also for business. If you are trying to get into a business deal, traveling long distance to close a business deal, be a little wary, because the first 15 days are not the best of times for closing a business deal. This is also because the 5th Lord and the 8th Lord, Mercury, is getting retrograde into your 9th house. So Venus is going to get retrograde from Scorpio back into the 9th house in Libra, and because it rules the 5th house as well as the 8th house of upheavals, obstacles, And romance, you may get into a relationship in the wrong manner, either a love relationship or a business relationship with Rahu sitting in the 5th house of finance, accounts and romance, and that may lead to you doing a wrong deal or not getting the best of the deal, or in the long run facing losses. So be very, very careful if you're traveling and or you're trying to sign a business deal. Also, if you're trying to take admission in an institute of higher learning, be very careful of what institutes you are taking admission in, and try to do some background check before you go and enlist, so that you don't get locked up in while after taking admission and you don't know where to go. So be a little wary of this. Also, be wary of wrong gurus, wrong teachers, especially spiritual gurus, because there is a chance that you may also get fleeced. You may also end up spending too much money, and somebody may use their authority over you, because Sun is getting debilitated in the sign of Libra in the 9th house. Their authority over you, or your astha or your belief or your faith in them, and they may misuse that to extricate or take you for a ride. Whether it's spiritual gurus or heads of educational institutes or ashramas, and also be careful of fake gurus, fake business partners, fake love interests, and going long distance to close a deal. So when we are under pressure when we go long distance, because we want to do something, because you've come so far. So don't be in a hurry, sleep on it, and try and take those decisions to sign on the dotted line or to commit anything only post 15th of November. So that's very, very strongly denoted. This is also because Mars is going to move into the 9th house from the 8th house of Virgo. It will move into the 9th house of Libra and join Sun and Mercury there. Now, Mars rules the 10th house of career, and Mars also rules the 3rd house of effort, of communication, of self-effort, of also business, and getting into a very fiery placement already of Sun in debilitation in the 9th house, in the sign of relations. So you may say something related to work, because Mars rules the 10th house and 3rd house of effort and communication. So in trying to put in more effort to get results, because now Mars is placed in the 9th house of fate, luck. So if you have been frustrated over a period of time of feeling that your career is not moving forward, your efforts are not bearing fruit, and or your communication is is not being responded to, or your pleas or your presentation, marketing yourself is falling on deaf ears, nothing is coming about. And then because Mars is going to join Sun in the 9th house in sign of debilitation, and Sun represents leadership, you may say something while traveling long distance for a seminar or a meeting or a conference, or even on a conference call, or in your office. In your frustration, because you feel you're not getting your due, you may say something or do something which will spoil your relations and will push your career back. So be very, very wary of what you say, who you say to, and who you confide in. So that is very, very important, because the 3rd house of communication is getting into a retrograde Mercury in the 9th house. So Mercury will give you communications which you need to maybe relook at, because it could be misunderstood. So be wary of who you communicate and what you say and how you say during the first 15 days. Some of you will also find that you may get good results also in your career if Mars and Sun are placed well in your horoscope, which could mean you go for a long distance conference or a seminar and your luck shines and you get ahead in your career, or you get an opportunity. This is strongly manifested in the next half of November, when Sun transits into your 10th house and joins Venus there. Now Venus rules the 4th house, and Venus also rules your 9th house itself, and now is placed in the 10th house, and Sun joins there. So the 9th house of luck and the 4th house of material possessions, houses, vehicles, all luxury products, all get into the 10th house of career. So if your career is somewhere related to finance, home decor, real estate, luxury products, anything related to house or to travel or educational institutes or spirituality or transport, because transport also has vehicles attached to them, even airline, air ticketing and all, or creativity, or related to artistic pursuits, or dance, music, acting, all of that. And now getting into the 10th house, Sun getting into the 10th house with Venus there, and Venus is related to the 4th house and 9th house energies, then people associated with these industries will shine, will get a good opportunity to get ahead also, and you may also get a better role at work. You may find that because of the Sun energies and Sun doing well in Scorpio, you may, and Venus being the ruler of the 9th and the 4th, you getting ahead in career if you're related to these industries, and you get a better role, you get a more authoritative role, and you shine at work. However, because Sun is placed in Scorpio, play your cards close to your chest. Don't reveal all your cards. Don't reveal your ideas immediately. Don't give your plans before you go for a meeting. Don't announce your plan, because somebody else may use your ideas to put you down and present their ideas as theirs. So be very, very careful, be a little bit secretive, and then at the right time play your cards and then benefit. So be more tactful, be more diplomatic, and be a little secretive how you approach work. Don't trust everybody and anybody. And this can help you also, because the 10th house is also the house of work, and Sun goes into 10th house and meets Venus there, and Sun rules the 7th house. You could meet somebody at work who later on could end up, because of being you getting into, or your wavelength resonating with theirs, over a period of time you can get into a committed relationship also with somebody from the opposite gender. In fact, to such an extent that you may even get married to them. So there is also a chance that you may meet your future spouse at work. Or if you're already in a committed relationship, if the person is related to work, then there are chances that this may become a more long-term and stable and a committed relationship also. That may also come about. Now in the first week of November, Jupiter also transits into his own sign of Sagittarius in the 11th house. And Jupiter also rules the 2nd house. So because Jupiter also rules the 2nd house of Pisces, or the house of earnings, savings, as well as your 11th house. So what will happen? Jupiter being the ruler of the 2nd house and the 11th house, both are the gain bringing or money making houses, and now going in, joining Saturn and Ketu there, which means there is a high chance of you manifesting strongly something at work, because of which your social standing increases, your earning potential increases, your aspirations come true, your desires come true, and you are able to get results. However, with Saturn being the lord of both the Lagna as well as the 12th house, and the 12th house is the house of waste and excess, you may not get fruits of labor to the extent that you desire. There will always be something slightly less. So rather than 100%, you will get something at 70% or 80% of your desires, which you will achieve. This is also because Ketu also co-rules the 10th house of Scorpio, and is now placed in Sagittarius in transit with Saturn since the last 6 months. So those Aquarius natives who are feeling a little locked up in your career over the last 2 years or so, and strongly in the last 6-7 months, nothing seems to be moving in your way. Now is the time when something may manifest, but not that strongly. It means for some people if it doesn't manifest in November and December, it will manifest post January, when Saturn transits back from your 11th house in Sagittarius to its 12th house in Capricorn, leaving Jupiter and Ketu alone. So all the results may manifest then. For some people, if even now in the next 2-3 months something strong doesn't happen with reverses with relation to career, earnings getting increased, or your social standing showing more positive results, then next year September, when Ketu transits from your 11th house into your 10th house in transit and leaves Jupiter alone in the 11th house in Sagittarius, then very strong results will surely be manifested. So for Aquarius ascendant natives, next 3 months are important, and then the first month of February is important. After that, the month of October next year is very, very important. October, November, December are very, very important. So these 6-7 months in phases are very important for Aquarius ascendant natives. try and see if you can get the best out of these next 3 months. For some reason it doesn't happen, then it will surely manifest in February next year, or in October, November, December next year in 2020. Now, having said that, what is also important is the 11th house is also the house of relations and extended society and your social network. So, but because Saturn is placed there in the dot of the 12th house, rather than trying to create new social relations or social network, try and build on or stabilize your current relationships, because trying to build new network of friends and social connection will not help you that much. As much it will help to consolidate the existing one and utilize the existing ones so that you benefit in the future, so that your second house of earnings and your 11th house of desires manifest stronger results for you with Jupiter's transit there. So keep in mind that you play your cards strong close to your chest, be a little secretive, and use Mars fiery energy and Sun's energy in the 10th house of career post 15th of November, and be a little diplomatic, be a little tactful, and use the opportunity to your advantage, especially if you're working in large organizations which are looking at creative solutions for large mass of people. Then this is more strongly denoted. And because the Lagna is involved, Saturn rules the first house of Lagna or the Lagna, and then placed in the 11th house, which could also mean that, and especially with Jupiter, which could also mean a time of justice for you, or the time of waiting too long and justice being done to you now. However, Ketu being there, it could also mean that justice could be delayed but not denied. So play your cards well, be patient. If not immediately in November, over the next 2 to 3 months or 6 months, the results will manifest for you, my friends, my Aquarius friends. So keep in mind what energies are manifesting basis the planets in your natal horoscope or your birth horoscope, and see how the placements are. So if for example Jupiter is not strongly placed in your natal chart, is placed in the say 6th house or placed in the 8th house, and now getting into transit into the 11th house, then you will get results related to a link to the 6th and the 8th house more than related to the houses that Jupiter rules, which is the 11th house and the 2nd house. So keep that in mind, and based on that, play your cards very well. Play your cards accordingly. So if Jupiter is placed in your 8th house in your natal chart and going into the 11th, which means it could manifest more with more stronger Virgo energies, or money, finance, wealth, audits, insurance, taxation. Those things will be of the essence more than food, language, consulting, all which for Aquarius people can manifest strongly with Jupiter ruling the 2nd house. So keep this in mind, and be better prepared for the next 2 to 3 months, especially for the month of November, because a lot of energies are manifesting in your 9th, 10th and 11th houses. Now if you're a cross watcher, that means you're not an Aquarius native yourself, but you're watching it for somebody else. Please let the person who could be a sibling or a brother or a partner or your parent or your children know about this video, so they can also be better prepared. And please, if you're looking for a consultation from me, please reach out to my email ID in the links given below. Please like this video, please subscribe to this channel, please press the bell icon so that you get to know when my new video is coming, and please during this festive season, please have fun, be safe, and try and be better prepared when the first week of November comes, because that's when the fun begins for all my Aquarius friends from a career point of view. So all the best to you, and till I meet you some other time, this is your astrologer friend and guide Irfan signing off. Ciao.